Hey guys, it's Matt. What is today? Today's May 8th. It's a Saturday. Um, it's been a while since I made a video, and so this might be my last video for a while. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to make them or not. But I wanted to make this one because I actually closed my CMEG account. And let's get into a little bit of the whys and all that. So uh, again, last video I made was in March, and it was I think I was breaking even at the time. You can see this is my trader view from January 1st to March 1st. So I was just about breaking even there with a big loss, and then climb back. Um, it didn't really get any better after that. So I'll just go to here, I guess. Um, So you can see I was slightly negative. Another big loss. Oh, that was the big loss I took in March. I think that was. I can't remember if that was included in the last video or not. I'm not sure which part of the month there I made that last video. But there was another big loss here, and then just kind of floundered from there. I'll be honest. I got to a point where, well, one, my account had been drained enough that I ran into some capitalization issues. Like I just didn't have enough capital to trade some plays, and um, at least not trade them the way I would want to. There got to be a point where my capital was so low that there was no real way I was going to fight back and make back the losses. Um, and that's part of a small account is it's tough to fight your way out of a hole like that, right? Um, and when you see other traders do small account challenges, um, a lot of times they're already a seasoned trader, and they have their trades and that their setups rather that they know work for them, and so they're starting with, I don't know, $3,000 or something, but they're going all in on every trade with as much margin as they can, which is fine. Although I've also seen some traders recently try to do that and just blow up. And then they're like, okay, well, I'll start over again. And it's like, yeah, well, if the $3,000 that you open your account with is the money you have to trade with, you can't just go all in like that, because if you do hit that, in everybody's trading system, there's always that anomaly trade. It's like, yeah, you take a big loss sometimes. And if you hit that one within the first couple trades, you're screwed, right? And it's a different story if you've got a whole bunch of capital that you just don't happen to be using for your small account challenge, versus the small account is all of the capital you have, right? Anyway, um, so yeah, I got to a point probably after this big loss where I was like, well, I don't really have the capital to trade what I want. There's also the locate fee bullshit with CMEG, where they charge you that flat fee, which, yeah, with a small account, it really makes shorting almost, I don't know, it's not impossible, but you're just adding more and more fees to your system, which, even if you're breaking even, or if you're a little bit profitable, a $25 flat fee plus per share locate fees is that can be somewhat, I don't want to call it crippling, but it can definitely be a handcuff, right? Um, so, but I ended up, through here, I was taking trades that I shouldn't have been taking. I really wasted probably a month or two of time here, just sitting and taking shit trades because they were the only ones available, stuff that was easy to borrow. But easy to borrow doesn't mean easy to trade, right? It can be ugly sometimes. So anyway, it's been a rough couple months, and honestly, I was kind of at a point where I wasn't sure what I was going to do, if I was going to continue trading, or if I was going to take some time off. Uh, so I just I guess kind of my enthusiasm for the whole process was kind of at a low. Um, definitely its lowest point for the past year or so. Um, so anyway, here are some um, the spreadsheets for some of the reports that I got. So I took reports from the very first day of my CMEG account to the very last day that I traded in it. And just so you know, when you close your account at CMEG, you also can't access your reports, which is a little strange, I think, because at the end of the year, you're supposed to have those reports to be able to file your taxes. So if you want to, so I don't know. That was strange. So I'm glad I downloaded these reports. I kind of went into the back end, the prop report section, and exported all of the reports I could get my hands on, and then I can use those for tax purposes. But here you can see kind of this top section that I'm worried about here. This is kind of your overall performance. But here is really what we're looking at wins and losses here. So 246 wins, 161 losses, and 0.57 win-loss ratio, right? Again, this is every trade I took, right? And my as you see here, let's go to the detailed view. My win-loss ratio really took a hit. I was up in the 70 to 80% when I was doing well, and it really kind of went in the shitter those past couple months. So, but what I want to point out is even with all of that, if you look over the whole term of this is from last June when I started with my CMEG account to the end of April. So June 2020 to April 2021, right? You can see that total gross, I was actually up almost $700. And that's I started with a little under 3,000. And then you can see, with all the fees, and this is just fees like commissions, ECN, all that stuff. This doesn't include the platform fees. We'll see that in a second on a different report. So you can see that I was, with fees, I was down 1,000, a little over 1,000, 1,100, right? Really quickly, you can just see here that even though I started the account with the intention of it being basically nothing but long trades, you can see that I did much better on the short side than I did on the long side. So you can see long gross I was down, short I was up. So and then it breaks it down by time of the day of the week, blah blah blah. I don't really care about that. Let's look at this one really quick. So this is breaks down every trade every day on kind of a general summary of every day. And then it also includes fees. So these are like, this one is a platform fee. These are when I probably located shares, and then platform fees and locate fees. So so you can see down here at the bottom, this is really the most important part. Orders, fills, all that. You see again, gross up almost 700. Trade fees down 1,100, right? And then here's the other fees, including the platform fees and locates, and then you can see that that's the actual balance. So I started with what, 229 something, 2,900 something, and ended up losing 2,600 something of it. So that sucks. But so this is the thing, when I started the CMEG account, there were probably like three levels of expectation, right? There was the dreamer expectation, which is like, cool, within a year, maybe I'll have already graduated from this small account, and I'll be trading a regular, you know, onshore account, and things will be going really well. And maybe in another year after that, I can start thinking about bailing from a full-time job and maybe working part-time and doing trading because it's doing enough for me. Blah blah blah. Right? That was like the optimistic view. Um, and then there was like, well, I'm probably going to struggle for about a year, but we'll keep this account alive, and at least I won't be losing money, right? And then there was the last tier of expectation, which was thinking about this sort of in the way that I think about if I go gambling somewhere, and I almost never gamble because I just don't see the point. But like if I go to Vegas with a group of people and I know I'm going to play some slots, I just take some money and think, okay, this money's as good as gone, but if at least I get entertainment out of it when I'm playing. If you lose, I don't know, $500, you just chalk it up to like, okay, it'd be the same if I spent $500 on concert tickets or something, which would be a ridiculously expensive concert. Um, but that's kind of the lower tier of what I was thinking is, look, I'm probably going to lose this money that I'm putting in this account, but it will entertain me for hopefully a long time. And it did. That's ended up, that was the worst case scenario, which actually isn't that bad. Um, for a little over, or I guess a little under a year, um, I had a hobby that took up a couple hours every morning that I really enjoyed for the most part, except maybe for the last month or so. Uh, and you know, this is what it cost me over the year, basically, right? Actually, there was one more platform fee taken out of this, I think, after after I closed the account. So it's take another $125 from that number there, and add it to the loss. So it was more like 28 something, I guess, or 27, yeah, 27.50, somewhere around there. But so anyway, guys, that's I got to the point where I was like, well, either I can dump more money in this CMEG account and try to fight against it, but honestly, the lack of locates thing was just frustrating, um, and so I just decided to close it out, uh, and also I'm at a point where it's not ideal, but I can open a regular onshore account and not have to deal with the locate fees, which are really, especially toward the end, that was a yeah, again, it was kind of handcuffing me as far as what I could trade with this, the system and the style that I want to trade right now. Um, so anyway, that's where I'm at, guys. Again, not sure if I'm going to continue to make videos or not, because I really wanted to do the CMEG thing, because I felt like there's a lot of, you get some people that get their CMEG account, and like I said, they're like a seasoned trader, and it looks really cool because they can go from $500 to 50,000 or something in a couple of months, and it's like, well, that's probably not what your experience is going to be if you're doing what I did, which was taking the only $3,000 you had that you felt you could risk in a market and put it in an account and at the same time be still learning. Um, so hopefully this was helpful, and you know, let me know if you have questions or comments. Oh, one other thing, I know what else I wanted to go over, and there's really nothing to put on the screen here, but toward the end, actually, the last month or so, there were also some issues at CMEG as far as their smart routes. And so I was running into a lot more errors with orders, which was frustrating. That had happened once or twice before, but it was, let me see if I can find this might be it. I was getting orders rejected anyway, and so I ran into some problems. Yeah, so I was getting, oops, yeah, either way. I was getting this duplicative order error right here. Um, and so there were a couple times where, I was trying to get out of a trade and I couldn't. And when that had originally happened, which was, I think that when I took that screenshot I just showed you, I emailed CMEG and they were always good about getting back. Their customer service is pretty quick, as long as it's not like, holy shit, I'm in a trade and my platform froze and what do I do? I never experienced anything like that where it was like a huge deal. But as far as like if you email and ask a question, they got back to you pretty quickly. Um, and so anyway, when I emailed them about that order reject, they were like, "Hey, that was on the side of I think the clearing house or whatever, or clearing firm, whatever they use." And they were like, that won't happen again." Well, it started happening this month, and it happened a few times to where I had to bail on the smart route and just use like Arca or something, which is not a big deal, except in CMEG, their smart routes are, that's where you get the 0.004 cents, per share, so zero point 0.4 cents per share or whatever, instead of Arca, which is like $2.95 to $2.95. So that was a little annoying, but outside of that, I thought CMEG was a pretty good experience, and just not just didn't work out as far as my trading and my ability to be able to size up when I thought I was going to be able to. And so hopefully, get a new account here. I'm in the process of opening one with a different broker. That is, and then I'll be above PDT. And then I can trade a little more freely. I'll be able to locate shares a little more easily, and we'll see if we can make this work then. So, any comments or questions, let me know, and good luck to you all.